Welcome to Dear Community Live. We're here with Dirk Gentry with the Bare Walls Project. And before I let Dirk talk, I want to tell everybody a little bit about the 24-Hour Citizen Project, what it is for all of our new listeners. So the 24-Hour Citizen Project is an annual event where we connect people that have community-focused ideas with expertise and the financial backers to make them happen. This is an event that's created for citizens to impact their community directly through the pursuit of citizen-led projects. And here we are with a citizen of the community, Dirk Gentry, who pitched a brilliant idea last year in August 2018 for artists and actually for businesses in the community. So he was awarded $2,200, and here we are, almost 1 year to the date later. And you've got a lot of experience and expertise to share with us today. So Dirk, let's get it kicked off. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then give us a 60-second pitch about your project.
Excellent. Well, thanks for having me, Butch. Yeah, this is, I can't believe it's been a year, but yeah.
Flies by, doesn't it?
Flies by, and we've been definitely growing and doing great things. So thanks again to the 24-Hour Citizen Project and what it's done for us and the community. So, but yeah, the Bare Walls, I'm a local artist and entrepreneur, and I'm fortunate enough to be making a living as an artist. But I know that the problem was that we needed to help add more value to art in our community, to where there was a lot of support for art. As far as I enjoy art, I enjoy going out to the galleries and drinking free cheese and wine and stuff. But, the purchases just weren't happening and stuff.
I hope
like
that doesn't just happen in Lafayette, by the way. the wine and cheese thing.
No, God, I hope if it doesn't, then I don't want to find out.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's where we just trying to make our community better, raising the value through art in our community, and that's where the Bare Walls Project came about, or at least the idea of it, because me and Claire Cook, who's also she's co-curator and creator of it. She has a gallery in our studio space where we flip different shows every month, and the problem, sometimes you want to see at least a few pieces sell, and we were just trying to figure out, okay, what can we do to help artists gain more value? So that's where this came about, with just a little roundtable discussion saying, how do we connect businesses with artists to help showcase work in non-conventional spaces? So in a sense, gallerizing these businesses and connecting the two, because not every artist is outspoken. Most of them kind of go with the label of being a recluse. And then on the business aspect, how do I find these artists that are hidden in the community, and much less how do I do the legwork? It's a lot of work involved with it, and that's where we said, you know what, let's do it. Like, we're going to be this platform. We're going to be the middleman, to where we give the businesses a different tier kind of program to rent the artwork that we rotate in and out. We do consultations with them, and God, they're really excited about it. All the ones that are in the program, they know that it's going to artists. So that's another thing too, because there is a commitment. I mean, it's an investment when you purchase art. So being able to rent it's a whole different way to do it, and it keeps such a nice fresh look. Like, you're literally a gallery in a non-conventional space, whether it's a conference room, a hallway, so it's been great. And yeah.
So let me try and articulate this back to you, because some of our viewers haven't even seen your 3-minute pitch and haven't maybe even looked at your project on our website. So basically, you've got a problem or a need. Let's not call it a problem. Let's call it a need. And Bare Walls is a solution. Meaning, you've got artists who are constantly creating work. Okay, and there are outlets out there for the artists to sell their work. But maybe not enough, or there's opportunities for another avenues where artists could sell their work, one. And then two, you've got businesses that essentially have, pun intended, bare walls, right? Great name, by the way. I don't even need to ask you where your name came from.
It was an acronym at first.
Oh, really?
Basin Arts Rental Exchange, a program or something, but it just went with bare walls. So,
yeah, wow, okay. Well, that's great. So you've got businesses that that want to host art essentially on their walls, whether or not they're bare doesn't matter, right? You've got a restaurant and they want to support the artist community. So what you've done is you've paired the two together through a process, right, called Bare Walls. What does that look like specifically? You have a website that you developed. Tell us what that kind of looks like.
Yes. So we have the website, which most of the funding went into creating the website. We knew it was necessary. We needed a landing page for both the artists and for the businesses to come to. And it acts as a database as well, to where you could just go look up any of the art that's available from these artists. Because the way the program is, it's artists have inventory that's just usually sitting around at their house, or they had a show and now it didn't sell. So they have this just abundance of inventory that's collecting dust. And what we do is we make it available to the businesses in our portfolio for them to select the artwork and then rent it. And then the artist just drops it off to us. And then we go and we install it in the business. They get a nice little email and a little payment to their checking account whenever the invoice comes through. And then I'll let them know, come to 3 months, that, hey, your work's back to be picked up. Or, hey, we've had this many times too, where it's like, your work's coming down from this business, but it's going up in this business. They selected that work. So like, it just stays in rotation sometimes. But yeah, it's a website that we showcase all the artwork that's available. We're very transparent as far as the different packages. From we have Baby Bear, which is the lowest tier, all the way up to just the right bear.
Right.
So
that's good.
And it just depends on the business, and that's where our consultations come in to effect and stuff like that. So we're there to help as a curatorial team, because there's some places that they don't. They're not art savvy, and they're just like, hey, what do you recommend or something? Or I like this look. I like this just aesthetic or something like that. So, and that's where we're there to help them. So we're literally just the bridge and the platform that connects these artists with these businesses. And there's so much more. Like, there's a story behind it. There's a phase behind it, and that's the important part for us. We want that connectivity to. You could find out about this artist. We actually have artist talks on some of our packages to either the clients or the employees or the businesses, like investors, to where we do that. We bring in the artist, so you can put a face on it too and find out more, like, why do they create this work?
Right.
So it's awesome.
That's really, you're bringing art. I mean, the other thing too is, like, I think about Art Walk, where you have people that support the arts that come, right? But Bare Walls, you're essentially bringing art into an environment they may not be familiar with it, right? So you're going into a business place with art, right? And if you're talking about bringing artists in to share that experience, that inspiration about the artwork itself to someone that has bare ears, right? Then there's another element to this, I believe, where you're stretching the mind a little bit and maybe drawing an appreciation from people for art that maybe otherwise wouldn't have it.
Yeah, and that's really the goal, is like by giving the knowledge and just expanding that to where it's like, hey, we're expanding out of the art sector of like downtown, even though we have businesses downtown that are in it. It's just, we want to keep branching it out to where it's like, let's expand the demographic, and let's just keep on pushing it to where it's like, find out about the artist. Like, this is somebody that lives here and supports this community. So, it's a beautiful cycle in a sense, like, keep these artists here by supporting them through the Bare Walls. And then,
will you help me understand that? Like, grade Lafayette in their love for art and our ability to keep artists here and good art here by purchasing it through, whatever avenues that we have available.
Yes. So
give us a grade. I want a grade.
A grade? Oof. I'll go with a C minus.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's tough.
It is tough, and from experience, I've been an artist, and there's so much dependent on the sales, which we don't have as many collectors as you would think. And again, I think that there's a huge appreciation for art in our community, so there's still ways to support art without collecting it. Don't get me wrong on that, but in some other markets, it's a lot more of a priority, or they have it could just be from volume alone that they have that X many more people that smaller number of percentage is just that much more people. So, but yeah, and that was a reason why we even made the program. Was just, moving inventory was difficult for artists. It's a commitment, it's an investment, that we want more clients or audiences to commit to. Like, hey, I want this artwork speaks to me, and I want a better understanding of it. I want to meet the artist. I want to know the whys, and then there you have like a piece of that artist, and a story up on your wall for forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's a one-time type thing. So that's where also this comes into play, to where it's a sustainable, like there's a sustainability for the artist to have a little bit of residual income coming in, compared to just I have to sell this piece. It's not as just, demanding to where, God, I have to sell the piece. No, like now I have a few pieces being rented that helps my supplies or helps keep my studio lights on and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think that we're just trying to gain more understanding of art, or why is it valued so high? Because we're a very proud area in Lafayette, and I love that about it. But we need to keep pushing the understanding and then the backing for it. As with anything, you need the backing and the funding.
You said something a second ago, and I actually wrote it down. You mentioned something about an artist, and I could be paraphrasing, having an influx of art that could just be sitting around their studio. If an artist, if for some reason through Bare Walls, we're able to take that art that's sitting around Dirk's studio and we're putting it in a business, right? And we're hanging on the walls and creating exposure, then all of a sudden, does the artist feel like they're incentivized to create more because they don't have art that's just sitting in the corner collecting dust, instead it's being out there and being used? So in a way, and I've never thought about this before, maybe you said it in your 3-minute pitch a year ago and I forgot, but are we fostering an environment where artists can create more art because their art is actually out, in a business being viewed?
Definitely. Yes, we have artists that they get so excited when they receive the email, "You've been selected," and it's just like,
and they take all their art.
Like, which pieces we had one artist. I sent him the inventory report that we selected each piece, and usually it's a number of different artists. And it might be 1 or 2 pieces by an artist or something. And they were like, "When do I drop off all the art?" And we're like, no. Just this piece. Like they were coming and bring the house to me, And but no, it's very inspiring. And I mean, I think on top of the exposure and just art's a conversation, that everyone should be having. It triggers so many creative things. Whether you like that certain piece of art or not, just talk about it. Talk to someone about it, and the benefits are great. But yeah, artists are creating more work. They're like, yeah, send me the link to upload more work in my inventory for our portfolio, And I'm like, yeah, here, all right, just send it to me, send me the details. Yeah. So, and then I'll try to hopefully a business bites on it.
So tell me this: any feedback you've been getting from the businesses, positive or negative, that's worth sharing?
For the most part, all positive. So they love the rotational component for sure. Again, that fresh look, and just they get excited, like, oh, what work's coming in now?
Here now? Yeah.
Whether that's for their employees that see it every day, or clients that might frequent once a little bit less, weekly or something like that. But yeah, they get excited about that. I mean, and again, it just adds value, and you can tell that this is original artwork. So I mean, it is of high quality. There's texture to it. There's a little bit more value to it, and just us bringing it to the buildings, like they understand that. There's a much better understanding to where it's like, ooh, this is not something I got from a thrift store. Like there's substance behind this. Like and it shows. So.
What if artists didn't have bare walls to facilitate this process? What would that look like? An artist going into a business saying, "Hey, I want to put my art on the wall."
It's difficult. It's difficult because
artists by nature aren't salespeople, right?
No. So I don't even think they'd walk in the door, most of them, because they just don't have that in their blood. And I think that's what we really offer is that connectivity, the networking component of it. And again, having it now, the program being so established to where it's like, yes, this is a professional program that there's a better understanding of it. It makes it so much easier compared to just an artist walking in there like with a few pieces like, hey, I think my work would look good over here. And you're like, who are you? And it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of, in the art world as it is, there's a lot of just persistence. Just, you will get rejected for art shows. You won't get into a gallery or something like that. So there is that, and I mean, you know, artists are already sensitive enough. so yeah, I think that we're helping really push artists not only for exposure, but getting it into venues that you wouldn't think, you know, before. And yeah, we're loving it, and you know, so we're just gonna keep on pushing it.
I love it, man. So take me back a little bit. So, I mean, we talked about the idea, where it came from, some of the like 30,000 foot view of how and why. But walk us back to the decision to participate in the 24-Hour Citizen Project.
The timing was just perfect.
Where were you in the whole ideation stage? And, you know, how did that play into it?
So Claire, you know, we work side by side at the studio. Like, I'm there 9 to 5, and she's there with her dance company and everything. And that's at Basin Arts, which is a nonprofit here in town. And, you know, I think we had a gallery show that it was almost maybe the third in a row that there was no red dots for, which red dots means the work sold during the art. Like, you know, it's sold. So we didn't have that. So there was a problem, clearly, because for the business, like, okay, we need an income, or we need some sort of income coming in, whether it's the sell or not. And we kind of just fished the idea of like, well, can people rent artwork? Like, is that a thing? So we looked into a few things, and this was probably like 5 months prior to the Citizen Project. So we started kind of just shaping it, or like, oh man, this idea might work here. And some of the bigger hubs like Chicago, Seattle, I think LA, and some of their museums offered this service to where you could technically rent the artwork. You know, it was a lot more like fine art, interior decorator type, very specific. We're like, man, well, let's cater to something better for our community that would be a better fit for us, you know, with how Lafayette operates and stuff like that. And sure enough, I think you ran into Claire at coffee somewhere.
I did. I don't want to say it was me, but it was me.
It definitely was you.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because she came back and she's like, Dirk, there's this awesome program. And I think I had briefly heard, which I'm so ashamed that I didn't know about 24-Hour Citizen Project, because it's so cool.
You're part of the club.
I got bit. Okay. I got bit. I'm biting everybody. Because it was so awesome. Just we went and looked at the website. We're like, man, this is what we need. Like, this is gonna really put us on where we need to be with this, into the market. We got to get it. So we worked. You know, it was nice that we kind of had the idea polishing. Yep. To where we came into the actual event, or once we got accepted, like, all right, let's really up the ante on this and make it like, I mean, I'm ready to Shark Tank propose this, you know, and get the funding. So we did that, and I mean, the artist community, it's, you know, feed and be fed. Everybody loves to support one another, because we need that. Like, even though art's very independent, we need each other as a community, and the more together we could be, you know, then it'll give a variety to where, like, you might not like my artwork, but I got you in contact with this person who you love their artwork. Yeah. So, yeah. But so yeah, I mean, and 24-Hour Citizen with the mentors that helped us.
That's what I was about to ask you. I mean, so a lot of projects that come through. Well, first off, every project is a little bit different. You know, so some projects need, you know, a lot of expertise. Others, we're looking at Dirk Guidry and Claire Cook, who are the go-to, like, art gurus in town, and we say, who do we pair these people with? I feel like they're a perfect fit for this project, and they've already, you know, they've got everything together. But I think what we ended up doing is saying, you know what, we need to help catapult these guys and connect them to business leaders in the community to kind of, you know, help get the conversation going. So I think that was one of the things that we did. Did you find the time leading up to the event and during the event helpful for the project?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was pivotal for the project. The aha moment with John Peters, was our mentor, was we were literally pulling out my excess of inventory at my studio to figure out, like, okay, here's a bare wall. How do we formulate this? Because me and Claire had been trying, like, I mean, and look, we're artists, we're not, you know, numbers people. And we're just putting the artwork all out. And, you know, when you walk into a business, it might have, I mean, so many square foot of bare walls. But the aha moment that John actually helped us with was the fact, well, look, rent it based off of the linear feet of the artwork. And that was just like saved us so much trouble. Everything from there, our tier system, which was like a menu. It helped that he is in the restaurant industry too, because we made a nice little menu that you either fall in this tier or this tier. There's only 5 tiers you could fall in, but that's the menu. There's no chef custom order. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was like, wait, so they rent the linear feet of the artwork to cater to their space, and then they could plug it in accordingly. Like, oh yeah, we have 2 pieces in this hallway, and then 1 piece in the conference room, and then another 2 in the lobby. Like, that's perfect. Like, it was so great. And then, the night before, with the different kind of groups that you had us with, I pretty much changed my pitch.
Don't you hate when that happens?
I changed the pitch. I had been trying to memorize it that day, and then Claire was across the pond, so it was just me and my other team of artists, and but yeah, he was like, no, scrap this, hit the like, it was just such a different perspective that, I mean, it was clear too once it didn't take much convincing. I was like, okay, yeah, I got to do it like that. So, and sure enough, we did. And I mean, it pushed us to the next level. And I mean, it was pivotal. So,
one fun fact that Dirk shared with me before the meeting was that the 3-minute pitch. How old are you, Dirk?
32.
32 years old. Your 3-minute pitch was the first time you'd ever created a PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
30. How did you get through school? I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know if I just winged it.
It was
maybe it was a
pitch.
group project.
Yeah.
This time I was the one in charge of the PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh.
So.
That's good. All right. Well, look. For the next couple of questions, I want you to imagine someone else from another community is listening to you and saying, I want to do bare walls in my town. Or we have, a similar issue that Lafayette did before this program was implemented. Walk us through the things that you absolutely did not expect. And maybe there aren't a bunch of them. Maybe there's just one defining moment where you're like, well, this was an obstacle that we didn't anticipate.
Yeah. And, I think the key component for Bare Walls is the locality of it. So you're supporting local artists through local businesses, so you have to keep it local. So right now we're just in the Acadiana area, but I've been getting contacted by people throughout the state about, hey, this program's great. How do we get into this program? And we're working on that. I mean, we're still year 1, but we want to have different branches of Bare Walls, to where it's like Bare Walls, maybe Shreveport, Bare Walls, New Orleans. So we want to do that, but we want it to be specific to that area. But now that we have a well-oiled machine, I think that it's capable to do that. But
so you see this being in other communities easily? Yeah,
I think we have there's some people that have been showing great interest in, like, let me be your point person. Like, so we're working on it. But for other communities that aren't quite there yet, it's like, I think you need to figure out the logistics of your community, especially, specific toward the art realm, and how can you make this happen with your businesses, or how do you make it happen? Even with clients, I mean, we're mostly just commercial right now, but we've had private, and real estate businesses that were interested, or even events. Like, hey, we have this event party, film industry too. We're about to start contacting some of them for staging purposes. Like, hey, here's some high quality art. Here it is on contract, and then we go from there. So yeah, I think for other communities, just finding a way to help sustain artists is very important, because artists can feel defeated and then give up quite easily. So giving them that hope, and like we were saying earlier, to where it's like they want to create more art now, like, oh, my stuff got selected, like, that's inspiring. So yeah, what was the second part of that question though?
It was what didn't you expect?
It's a lot of admin work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and with anything, there's going to be a lot of work and a lot of time. There's a lot of times where I finish, putting my baby down to sleep, and then I'm like, all right, I got to upload artwork. Like, I got to go check this artist application, which is exciting too, because it's like, I love seeing people wanting to be a part of the program and what art they're putting in the program. Because I mean, it's at the artists, their own discretion, like what pieces they want in. And we have from emerging to established artists, and then a lot of them too, when they treat it like an actual gallery kind of submission, where it's not just their they're not so good work, the ones that put in the higher quality work, like it shows, they get selected and then they're in rotation again and again and again. So but and there's been, with anything, you have to wait to be able to gauge something the way it's operating, as far as just doing it. So with the consultations and of course the back and forth, the scheduling, it's kind of like, hey, when can I come into your business versus select the artwork, and then from there I have to hone it down. So it's taking a lot of time, which it was expected, but I mean, it's we've been hitting our marks, and it's been in the green. It's self-sustaining now. So
let's talk about that. You started this project and you said, we want to start with 5 businesses at, what was it, like $50 a month and so many artists. I can't remember how many.
It was just $50 a month. Whatever package they went with, that $50 was going to help cater toward paying the artist.
Sure.
So it was just a subsidized rate.
Okay.
$50 off the top, whatever package they chose.
Okay.
So
share some of the data with me. How many artists, how many businesses, any specific outcomes that you can share?
Yes. So we've been pretty much since January, I think, was like our first installation at Central Pizza. And from there, we are now at 37 artists. And I have 2 applications in my in my Drive folder right now that I need to go look at. Over 350 pieces of art that you could select from. And of course, we have it categorized, and the portfolio is accessible to everybody. So you could go online right now to bearwallslafayette.com and look at the artwork that's available, which we're in 6 businesses, and we'll be in 8 total businesses before the end of the summer. Shooting for 10 is our goal for the end of the summer. But it's great. And I mean, we've already paid, I think, upwards of over $3,000 to artists. There's a few artists specifically that have been rented. They've been so popular that they've been rented enough times. And that's another thing too. You could be in multiple businesses. So I could have artwork in this business and this business at the same time, and then I get all of that, residual from it as well. But we've had a few artists that they've made more than one of their paintings would sell for.
That's what I was about to ask you. So when you say we've paid $3,000 an artist, that is bare walls in rental fees to the artist. Does that include any art that has been sold or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So we've had art sell too.
Yeah,
so
yeah. That's part of the idea too.
Yeah. So which has been great, because I wasn't expecting to have as many sales as we have had, but again, you just give it more accessibility, and the sales will come. But at least they're being rented already, so it's just great.
So I have to ask the tough questions just because of some of our viewers are going to have the question. So you said 37 artists, 350 pieces of art, 6 businesses with 10 as the goal. So when I think about the 37 artists have been selected or at least participating, what's the vetting process, and do you ever have the difficult decision to turn away an artist?
We want as many artists in the program as possible, and we're there to help the artists. I think just Basin Arts in general is there to help, pro practice and help develop artists in our community. So as far as the application process goes, it's structured in a way to show that you are a practicing artist. Like, this isn't just a little side hobby thing for me. Like, I'm very passionate about this. I take it professionally, and that's where that merit comes into the application process. So you have to fill out a bio for us, an artist statement, your CV or resume, and then you have to upload images. And from that data, we could actually get a feel for who you are as an artist, kind of where you are as an artist, and then on top of that, like how professionally even you could document your art, which we're there to help. Like, there's some people, they don't know how to photograph.
That's what I was
art.
going to say. This could be a mentorship opportunity too, right?
Because we've had some of them where I'm like, hey, look, we want to get you in the program. Follow this, just here's the standard that I go by whenever I document my artwork or something like that. We're there to help. Like, we want them to be in it. So, and then of course, once they get that email where it's like, hey, you're part of the roster now. Like, you upload the images you want. They're like, well, what images do I want?
So there's some hand holding involved.
Yes. But I mean, it's, and the way that the system is made, as far as merit goes too, some of the more established artists, their price points are going to be higher as it is. All the artists decide their price points. We just facilitate, like, okay, I upload it and price it however you wanted to price it. But that also has its limitations on the rental component, because you got to unlock some of these artists that are like a lot bigger art. You're not going to be able to just rent an 8-foot painting on the first package. You gotta unlock it on some of the bigger ones, which usually the spaces that have that type of budget, those are the ones getting those paintings. But yeah, that's kind of where the merit kind of weeds itself out.
So what now? How does so you've got, I mean, man, you guys have made tremendous progress in a year's time. You have a goal to get 10 businesses on board before the first of the year. That's at least what I think I heard.
By the end of the summer, we want to.
By the end of the summer? Oh, good. You're more ambitious than I thought. So what now? I mean, what does Bare Walls look like in 2020?
I think it's going to be great. And then year 2, phase 2, we're just continuing to grow, and we're trying to hear feedback from both the businesses and the artists. Like, how do we make ourselves better? A lot of these businesses kind of more or less stumbled across us, or they found out about us. So we're about to start hitting like a marketing strategy just to get the word out. Like, some people kind of, I've heard of Bare Walls, but they're not sure what it is. And we're ready to really take that on and say, hey, we're coming to you now with Bare Walls, with a strategy to where we could just keep expanding and keep growing. I think that, again, this is to support the artists. And as part of the program, the funds go to the program, it's artists working in it, like doing our installations, doing the uploads, things like that. We're paying artists to help facilitate this program. And with more businesses, will give us more of a budget that we'll be able to keep pushing that. And, so not only can the artists get residual income from their artwork being selected, but now they could have different parts in the program for doing work for the program. So right. That's where we're pushing, on top of other ideas, to where a lot of people thought we were a mural project.
That's because we've got so many of them.
So we're actually we're in the works on doing a mural component call type deal, where we facilitate, if you're a business that has a wall and you want a mural, we're going to facilitate it to our muralists that are in the program, and almost have like a bidding type process within itself. We're trying to do like more shows as well, or we might even have like performance pieces and stuff though. So we're just filling it out. Like, it's still first year, but I think that great things are to come with it. So.
Man, we're going to do this again in 2020. And I need your commitment right now on camera saying.
Count me in. I would love to, Butch.
Okay, good. I could see you pitching an expansion of Bare Walls.
There we go.
The 220, 24-hour citizen project. So would the answer to this question being yes or no is totally fine. Would this have happened if it wasn't for the 24-hour citizen project?
I think either way we were going to make it happen, but it would still be just tiptoeing. It wouldn't be nearly as successful as it already is, much less it put such a fire on it. And the train just took off with 24-hour citizen, and it wasn't slowing down. So yeah, it was a pivotal component to it, and that's why we try to make sure that people know, and we try to keep pushing, like, hey, this was funded through 24 hours. Like, this began because of 24-hour citizen project. So, we're forever grateful about that.
Thank you. It's that response that we'll show to our team to make sure that we continue the effort that we're doing. Really, it's these projects at the end where we hear about the impact that continue to push us to do the event every year. So thank you for sharing. All right, so for a second, put the project on a shelf. Mm-hmm. Why do you feel that it's your responsibility to take charge on something in your community? Like, what is it that drove you to do this?
I think my personality. I have a very, outgoing personality. I'm a people person. I like to take the lead as well too. So, I think seeing where our community was and just kind of like what can I do to help it? Like what can I do to further it? So yeah, just give me the keys and let's get going. I mean that's just me, I guess.
Yeah.
So and you know I knew that if I'm doing it, then I could. I'm a critic, and I'm very difficult when it comes to like I'm gonna give you my opinion, you know, and it's for the it's with good intention,
sure,
but it could be stern sometimes. So I think I have that skin as well, to where it's like give me that feedback, you know.
Yeah.
I work really well with negative reinforcement for some reason, so I'm like, oh, I can't do that. All right, let's see. So but yeah, I think that especially with this program as a solution, I was like, I want to. Let's go. I'll take it to where it needs to go. And I trusted myself and again my team, because it does take a village with anything you do to kind of push it forward.
It does, man, and thank you for that. I think that there's so many times we could sit back on our heels and just expect other people to do things, and you've taken action to really make a difference, and the numbers show it, and I think the way that this program is growing is going to show it as well. So is there anything else that I didn't ask that you want to add?
I just keeping on the team component, I love the fact that you have to make a team. Like you can't just be individual with it, and I think that is great because every person on your team should shine in their own way, and not everybody's programmed the same way. So I think that was a huge part towards like, oh man, we got to find a few more people. And then it turned into like, wow, yeah, we have all these people that we need to utilize in our group, and like and these artists and stuff. And so I think that is very important. Don't change that. Yeah, no,
we never will. In fact, the teams may just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Good. Excellent.
So, well, look, how do we keep in touch with you? What's your website? Tell everybody your Facebook page, any contact information you're willing to share.
Everything we have are, again, you could visit our website at bearwallslafayette.com. You could follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. It's just Bear Walls Lafayette, and our Bear Walls that we have, and that's BARE Walls. And then yeah, I mean, you could see where the artists are, like where the businesses are that are involved. And, I want you to, there's also, we have our QR codes and stuff to where if you stumble across the artwork or bare walls at, say, a restaurant or a business, you can actually find out more about it by just going to the website or just scanning the QR code. Go look up the artists. We have direct links to the artists' Instagrams. Like that, we want you to go follow these artists. Like, oh, I love this person's work, and then go find out more about them. So yeah, I mean, we're all just open and we just keep pushing it. So
good, tons of information out there. Dirk, you are a soldier for the community. Thank you so much. This has been an enlightening session. And I think it's one that a lot of people are going to listen to, because I think Bear Walls is a project that's going to continue to live on.
We keep on growing, so thanks for having me, Butch, and what you do for the community as well. So
absolutely.
We wouldn't be here without you.
Well, the feelings are mutual. Thank you, Dirk.
Thanks, Butch.